This has been on the go for about a week now. I'll show you a close-up of it. So you'll notice that there's a lot of bubbles coming up through the innards, the chilli, the garlic and the onion. So all the time there's bubbles coming out, that's fermenting. Now what we have to do is every day or every 2 days is release the pressure on the jar, because I haven't got the airlock lid. So all we do is, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it, that's all you do, and then put the lid back on. You want to check around the lid, make sure there's no mould growing on there. If there is a bit of mould, you want to get that out as quick as you can. If there's like a bit of a white film, that's nothing to worry about, but if you're not too happy about it, you can scrape that out. And it's actually doing quite well. So I'm going to pop it back in the pantry and carry on burping it every other day. Going to do this indoors in here today. I was going to do it in the kitchen, but it's a bit cold out there. Get me nice gloves on. We're dealing with food. Keep everything covered. Right, this jar has been fermenting now for a good couple of weeks. If you can see that. The bubbles have sort of stopped coming up through it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to empty this into this bowl, but I'm going to catch all the chilies, everything solid, in a sieve. Because then what we're going to do is put the solid contents in the blender, blend it up, and then we're going to keep the brine, but we're going to put the brine, add it gradually into the blender to get the thickness of the sauce that we want. So we're going to want a bowl, a medium sieve. Oh my goodness, that smells hot. Right, so all we're going to do is pour this in here, catch it in the sieve. Oh, look at that. There, onions and garlic and peppercorns. I think I'm just going to leave that there like that and get the blender. So I'm just going to squash this down and get any excess out of it. And we'll put that in the blender. Now we've got a little bit left in the jar, so I'm going to scoop that out. Catch it in the sieve. Just strain this out so you get all the excess juice out. It's possible that we're going to put a bit of this brine back into it. Right, that goes in there as well. Right. So we're going to put that to one side. What we're going to do now is pop this on the blender, on the actual machine. Now when you're blending it up, you don't want to let it get too hot, because that's going to kill off all the good bacteria that is in the ferment. So we're just going to pulse it and try not to let it get too hot. So I'm going to put it over on the blender and I'll bring you over here. Right, so I'm just going to pulse it gently, just till it breaks it up into a smooth paste. And then just build the speed up very slow. So we don't want to get too much heat in there. And what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of the brine. Not too much, because you can always add a little bit of. Just going to let that settle for a minute, because as I say, we don't want to get it too hot, because as I said previously, it kills off the good bacteria which you need to sort of keep the sauce. It's quite a runny sauce, and we're going to put it through the sieve to take any lumps out in a minute. So I think that's it. We'll take this off and we'll go back over here. So we've got the bowl here. I'm going to put the sieve back in the bowl. Now what I'm going to do is gently pour this into the sieve to strain out any of the big lumps. This may take some time. Now, what I've got left in the sieve, I'm going to pop back in the jar. Because basically all that is the solids, as in the garlic granules that we put into the jar when we first fermented, the peppercorns which haven't ground up, and in here we've got the lovely runny sauce. So the solids, all the like the mashed stuff that's left over, I'm going to put in the jar and possibly use that. We're having steak for tea tonight, so I'm going to get Tina to rub my steak in all this lot. And perhaps she'll do it for herself, who knows. So I shall pop that back in the jar. and we'll strain some more. Right, we've got a couple of sterilised jars, sterilised funnel and a sterilised ladle. And all I'm going to do is just try and get it all in one bottle if I can. But I don't know if it's going to fit in one bottle. No, it's not. So that's given us 1.5 bottles. Normally we wouldn't put them in big bottles like this, but because we're using it for ourselves, it can go in these. So all I'm going to do is put a couple of labels on, just with the date and what it is, so we know what it is in the fridge. And that's how you make fermented hot sauce. So, moment of truth time, we're going to taste it. Smells alright. You can definitely smell the garlic in it. It's quite runny, so I've got to be a bit careful on the spoon.
Glad you warned me. Probably should have had a big spoon.
You're not even lined up. Right, let's see what this tastes like.
That's hot. Oh.
Oh, that's a success.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. That's gone straight to the back of my throat.
That's got some fire. Oh, jeez. No, we did fermented sauce last year and it was nothing like that. That is proper strong.
That reminds me of one of those little bottles.
The garlicky one.
I mean the one that Jordan bought you ages ago, the tiny little ones. Not quite spontaneous combustion, but...
I don't know. Whew. So that has been a success.
I'll get the other Tabascos in the greenhouse.
Yeah. We've got to come up with a name for this now.
Ouch.
That's a good name, actually. This hot sauce, if we put it into production, won't be coming in bottles like this. It'll be in small bottles. Tina's just named it Ouch. I don't know if there is a hot sauce called Ouch, but that definitely fits the bill. It's still burning now. So
that is one of the few that's got my head going.
Was it? Oh, I've gone light-headed.
There's not many do it to me.
Oh, so that was a good result all round, and we've got over 1 kilo of Tabascos in the freezer, so we'll be making some more of this. Flipping heck.
I think you'll be growing them again next year.
Yeah. So if you like this video, please click the thumbs up, that all helps the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification button, you'll be notified of any new uploads. And from me and Tina over there, it's bye for now.